Now at 6, rain is back in action on top of already saturated ground. Flood watch is in effect until Thursday afternoon. We'll see how this evening's looking and first weather coming up.
Plus, what the possibility of Roe versus Wade being overturned could mean for Missouri. And
the Downtown Joplin Alliance announces a new partnership for the future of the Joplin Depot. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with what could be next for the future of the building.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Heavy rains today mean flood risks for parts of the 4 states. This is KOAM News at 6. We go straight to Nick Kelly for our first look at the weather.
Like it or not, Dow, rain definitely was back in the cards for today's, leaving behind wet roads from 7th and Rangeline, even though Joplin's getting a break in the action for now. But with more rain still to go this evening and into the overnight, all the more reason why these flood watches are out for the vast majority of the area until 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Some parts of the area, especially from Joplin south and east, are getting a bit of a break, but look at more rain coming from the I-35 corridor and even more thunderstorms developing out across northern Oklahoma. Those will eventually head our way, but thankfully any severe weather, it's not going to affect us as we go through the rest of the night. But that doesn't change the fact that as we take a look at your future track through the rest of the evening, the rain will just continue to develop, build, and head our way, sticking with us through the overnight. Maybe a couple strong storms, but we're not expecting anything severe. We'll get a bit of a break in the action on Thursday, but we'll see when the rain will finally clear out and how much rain we'll get out of this system coming up in a few.
See you then. Joplin's Union Depot used to be unlike any other train station in its time, but it's been vacant for more than 50 years. And just last year was placed on Missouri's Places in Peril list. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky joins us in the studio now with efforts to preserve and revitalize the building.
Well, now exciting changes could be coming to Joplin's historic Union Depot. Earlier today, the Downtown Joplin Alliance, State Historic Preservation Office of Missouri, and the Glenn Group announced a partnership to save the building. Now they're searching for a developer to determine the building's future.
It seems particularly appropriate that we are making this announcement in May because May is Historic Preservation Month. So this kicks off Historic Preservation Month very nicely for Joplin.
That announcement is to revitalize the Joplin Union Depot, which has sat empty in downtown Joplin for over 50 years. The building itself is a part of Missouri's history. After opening in 1911, the depot serviced the Kansas City Southern, Missouri, Kansas, Texas, as well as the Santa Fe railroads.
It's been here for over 100 years, and people in the community have seen it sit empty since 1969 when the last train left the depot.
Now, there are efforts underway to bring new life to the building while preserving its historic significance.
The depot is a perfect example of how preservation isn't just about saving buildings, it's about saving the stories of all the people who are affiliated with the building.
In order to revitalize, the group will need to find a developer, and that's where the Glenn Group comes in.
So we are going to be marketing it on a national as well as a local level to commercial real estate developers.
Gibson says they're looking for people who have experience with a building like this.
We will target preservation specialists, people who have worked in this field before and have experience, because we want to make sure that the person taking on this project is able to do it.
For now, it's a waiting game to see what will actually become of the building.
There'd probably be some sort of mixed use and commercial, obviously, in that location, but we're kind of just leaving it wide open.
The building is already on some national listings, and the Glenn Group has started to roll out their marketing on social media. I'm Bronte Sorotsky for KOAM News.
Bronte, thanks. How a building is constructed can go a long way in determining safety when severe weather strikes. Well, now the Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity is building a home to the fortified standards set by the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety. The home features walls with 6 inches of concrete that can withstand winds of up to 130 miles per hour.
On the inside, foam on the outside, which can improve the overall energy efficiency of the home, and then concrete in between those those forms. And that concrete, 6 inches of concrete, once it's fully cured, it has a tremendous ability to resist wind loads and flying debris.
Habitat officials say this is the first home in Missouri to meet the fortified standard. Some Kansas residents are getting a break on their taxes. Governor Laura Kelly today signed a bill allowing people 65 years old and older or disabled veterans to get a property tax refund of up to $2,500 as long as they make less than $75,000. Disabled veterans are also eligible for income tax exemptions, and teachers can now receive tax credits for buying classroom supplies. A Supreme Court decision to overrule Roe v. Wade would lead to abortion bans in roughly half the states and could have huge ramifications for this year's elections. Reporter Marina Silva takes a look at what it would mean for Missouri.
This leaked draft shows how the Supreme Court plans to rule on the landmark 1973 case, Roe v. Wade. The document, authored by Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, shows that the court plans to overturn the decision. For Missourians, that means the 2019 Missouri Stands for the Unborn Act would go into effect immediately after Roe v. Wade is overturned. It's what's known as a trigger law.
Well, that's the name given to laws that a dozen or so states have passed, but they're conditional. They're recognized under current law. The law that will go into effect is unconstitutional. It wouldn't pass constitutional scrutiny.
Dr. Kevin Pybus is a professor of constitutional law at Missouri State University, and he says Roe v. Wade has divided the country for years.
And very controversial. It's never been, the country's been very divided about it. And so it's unlike other constitutional rulings that may be controversial.
Mallory Schwartz is the executive director of Pro-Choice Missouri and says the decision comes as no shock.
We knew this was happening. We didn't know on this timeline that it was happening, but Missouri has been living in a essentially post-Roe world for years, since 2019 when the state passed its own ban on abortion.
This map from NBC shows the 23 states that would move to ban abortion the moment Roe is overturned. 13 of those already have trigger laws in place, including Missouri and Arkansas. Schwartz says the leaking of that document is more shocking than the decision itself.
Honestly, I hope that person or intern is protected and safe, because they did the movement and the community a favor.
But Roe v. Wade is not officially overturned. The document is a draft and has not been finalized.
From this draft that was leaked yesterday, it indicates that Justice Alito will be writing the opinion for the court overturning Roe versus Wade. But the other justices have an opportunity to weigh in on the draft.
And that draft is not available under the Freedom of Information Act, meaning few people could leak the document.
So the only people that would have access to it are the justices and their clerks.
The official ruling on Roe v. Wade will come this summer.
Again, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas all have those trigger bans in place. Intuit, the company behind the TurboTax filing program, is paying $141 million to customers across the U.S. for misleading ads of free services. Missouri's Attorney General says his office secured roughly $2.5 million in restitution for 80,000 Missouri customers. In Kansas, almost 40,000 consumers will share nearly $1.2 million, and around 52,000 Oklahomans will split approximately $1.6 million. Coming up, how a set of graduating twins in Joplin are looking to enter their medical careers in a unique way. Plus, a law firm is teaching the importance of bike safety at a local school. Identical twin sisters Alexis and Morgan Claire will graduate from KCU Joplin Medical School this weekend. The sisters plan to continue their journey together. They were able to get into the same residency at Belmont Health Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan. The sisters say their life goal is to help those in need through surgery.
Big thing, kind of life goal of ours, once we make it through general surgery residency and beyond, we'd love to give back to the community, and for me, surgery kind of lends itself very well to giving back definitive treatment and management to people who perhaps can't afford it otherwise.
Claire's sisters will begin their residency next month, and we're going to hear a lot more from the twins tonight at 10. School's almost over, which means kids are going to have more free time for activities like, say, riding bikes. When riding a bike, it's always important to be safe and wear a helmet. So Joplin-based law firm Aaron Sachs and Associates today donated bike helmets to kindergarten students at Stapleton Elementary.
bike helmet safety is a huge part of Aaron Saxon Associates. It's great to have bike helmets for outdoor activities, skateboarding, bicycling, scooters, and it's become a big part of the kids' lives, and we encourage outdoor activity. And to have a properly fitted helmet is just so important.
Aaron Saxon Associates say they've distributed around 30,000 helmets over the past nearly 20 years. Today, May 4th, is a special day for Star Wars fans. The date lines up perfectly for a twist on the franchise's signature line, "May the 4th be with you." To celebrate, the Joplin Public Library is hosting an event called Star Wars Days. The library strikes back. Activities include build your own droid, I spy with my Jedi eye, scavenger hunt, and more.
Celebrating and experiencing kind of a colloquial thing like Star Wars, right? Just something that is just out within culture. People really like it. So bringing them here to the library to celebrate it with us is just an added benefit. That's right.
The library's Star Wars event is going to run through Friday. A little bit later, a big signing day at Pittsburgh High School for student athletes.
But first, how long is the rain going to stick around? When are we going to clear out and warm up? Forecast next. Cloudy but dry yesterday, but now the clouds have given way to rain once again since late this morning, and certainly as we've gone throughout the afternoon. Lander Chevrolet, the camera from the dealership overlooking 44 in Joplin, showing wet roads, but traffic still moving along just fine. And the Skywatch Storm Tracker here showing those few scattered showers, as I said the other night, developing in our southern counties this morning, and then more rain, widespread rain and thunderstorms. Thankfully, nothing severe for a good portion of the day, but just adding more rain that we don't need on top of already saturated ground. An inch on the average so far just for today alone, and more reason why these flood watches are out for much of the area until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. On top of that, there are some minor flooding concerns that are showing up, especially in the Neosho River around Commerce and Miami. That's going to be close to minor flood stage up until we get into Saturday, and then still some minor flooding concerns until late this evening for parts of Lawrence, Berry counties, and even clipping parts of northern Stone County as you work deeper into the Ozarks of Missouri. Not seeing much around the Joplin area now, but more rain's building out to the west across southeast Kansas. But over the past few minutes or so, we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning, actually, with the storm coming out of Osage County. That has some maybe half-dollar size hail, inch and a quarter in diameter, ready to approach Oklahoma 11, moving northeast. That's going to become close to Ochalata and Ramona as you work along US 75. But as these storms have been working toward the north, away from the better severe threat, which is going to stay in Oklahoma, these storms are just switching back to regular storms, but just adding more rain that we don't need. So we need to keep an eye on these continued rain chances as we go through the course of the evening. At least we're dry for now in Joplin, 55 degrees with an east breeze at 7. Everybody's staying in the 50s right now, from lower 50s to Fort Scott to 58 in Welch. A few lower 60s actually, the closer you get to Grand Lake. But the overall trend, everybody's in the 50s this evening and as we go into tomorrow morning. Here's your surface map setup. You can see the better severe threat with many tornado watches from central Oklahoma down into Texas. The warm front's going to stay south of the region. That's going to be keeping the severe threat just to the south, but we got to deal with that system at the surface and the upper low over Colorado. Both of these systems will be slow to move along as we go throughout the next couple days. So the cloud cover definitely sticks around for tonight, and so will the periods of rain and thunderstorms that will continue to increase out west and move on through. But again, as they work through here, not much, if any, in the way of severe weather, but just more thunderstorms and periods of moderate to heavy rain. A bit of a break in the action by Thursday morning and to start Thursday afternoon. Then we'll watch for the approaching cold front to see if that can trigger some afternoon storms that could be strong to possibly severe. 56 in the morning, 67 by noon. Highs are 73. I think we can do it since that cold front is going to pull in more warm air from the south, but then we'll get on the back side of the front going into Friday morning, a few showers, then we're dry going into the weekend. And we'll take that dry time because by the time this system's all done, we can see rain amounts ranging anywhere from an inch on the low end to as much as 3.5, if not 4 inches. So that's all the more reason why these flood watches are out. But 73 tomorrow, a few showers early Friday morning, then we're dry for the weekend. But look at the jump in temperatures now. We'll go from 65 Friday, 82 Saturday, almost near 90 for Mother's Day. But at least we're dry for Mother's Day.
Yeah, you could call it hot, but still
Just about.
Nice enough to get outside on Mother's Day. Thanks. Still had Pittsburgh High School football player signs to continue his career at the college level. And the Pitt State men aim for their 6th consecutive MIAA Outdoor Track and Field Championship. Jacob Leonard joins us with that and more up next.
Today is a big signing day at Pittsburgh High School. 4 Pittsburgh seniors signed today to continue their careers in college, including 3 who are moving on in athletics. Among those signing for sports, Gavin Deal will continue his football career at the next level. Deal signs today to play football at the University of St. Mary in Leavenworth, Kansas. He'll play on the offensive line and maybe a little defensive line for the Spires.
Coach O'Bray talked to the head coach. He was like, hey, I have a really special O-lineman to give you, and I went to go visit. Coach treated me like family. He's like, we treat people like family here, and I'm excited to go. I'm hoping I can be a leader like I was last year for football, and hopefully it'll be a good year for me.
You can check out our full interviews with all 4 Pittsburgh signees today in this story on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, the regular season is over, and it's conference championship time for MIAA Track and Field. The Outdoor League Championships will begin on Friday at Emporia State. Now for Pittsburgh State, both the men's and women's teams head into the MIAA Championships ranked in the top 10 in the nation. The Gorilla women are 9th this week, while the PSU men are number 5 in the latest rankings. For the men, they've won the Outdoor League Championship 5 straight years and 6 of the last 10. So they know they have the target on their backs, but they kind of like it that way.
I wouldn't say there's really any pressure. I feel like this is just who we are. We're just people that we're winners here at Pitt State. It's a culture of winning. It's a tradition of winning. And so we don't expect to go into this and come out any other way but victorious. And so I like the idea of people coming after us. I don't want to be the underdog. I don't want to be the dark horse. I want people to come and try to take stuff from us. And we're hungry and we're at the top of the mountain, but we're ready to fight whoever wants to come up it and try to take it from us.
The Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals meet this afternoon for the 4th and final time this season. The Royals are trying to earn a series split tonight with the Cards after dropping 2 of the first 3. KC coming off a big 7-1 win last night, trying to keep the bats rolling. That's not really what happened today. Nolan Arenado, homer here for the Cardinals in the first, makes it 3-0. Now, later in the inning, Tyler O'Neill hits it in the gap. Actually ends up being an RBI triple for O'Neill. Makes it 4-0 St. Louis. They would add 1 more in the first to go up 5. Adam Wainwright really good today for St. Louis. 7 shutout innings on the mound. He allowed just 1 hit, but back to Nolan Arenado. Finds the gap here. That scores 2. Arenado goes 2 for 4 on the day with 5 RBIs. It was all Cardinals in this one. They go on to win in a shutout 10-0. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Dominic Hain served in the U.S. Navy. The Iola, Kansas native was stationed in the Mediterranean, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. And we salute Chief Petty Officer Dominic Hain, a 4-state hero. What we don't need is more rain in the area, but we have chances of more rain in the area.
On the plus side, though, the vast majority of any severe weather is going to stay south of the region, but we'll keep an eye on all the rain and thunderstorm chances we'll have this evening and going into the overnight, and another shot by tomorrow afternoon. But despite that, we'll go a little warmer tomorrow with highs to 73, and that finally drying out for the weekend.
Yeah, it'll be a nice warm weekend. Final sports note.
The MIAA released its all-conference softball awards today. 7 from Missouri Southern, 6 from Pittsburgh State made the all-conference list. We're going to talk about that right here tonight at 10.
Looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.